baby, I would call you up and just forget my foolish pride. I heard your number ringing. Okay. Are we here? Is it working? Hi, Elaine Marolakos Edelson. So great to be here. I hope you're here with me today. This is Astrology Mojo, and today we are talking about Uranus in retrograde in Taurus. And of course, if you don't know me, first of all, I have to put on my glasses. I went to the eye doctor's 3 days ago. These are the old glasses. Do I like it like this? Or do we like it like this? Oh, my new glasses have arrived. Oh, my goodness. And they are blue tech. It's so important, people, that you are using blue tech. These are blue tech as well. And that means, well, these are champagne color blue tech. It means your eyes are protected from all the gadgets, all the technology. And this is tying into the Uranus retrograde chat we're going to have today. So if you're new to me and you don't know that I say that the planets in the universe don't make you do anything, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets are making a move, you feel it, because we are sentient beings and we feel everything. When you make a move, the planets in astrology reflect that by way of aspects and angles. So basically, astrology just tells you what time it is. So what time is it? It's now. It is always now. And I'm so excited to be here. Yay, we had some tech difficulties, so we're kind of hoping it sticks through right now. Because NASA, if you are on my Facebook page, you'll see that I do some research. I like to see what's going on in the science world and the trends and what new discoveries are made, etc., and so on. And so what I did discover was that NOAA and NASA have detected some previously, maybe this was the reason for Tuesday, but detected some massive, I forget what they call them, corona bursts. Well, anyway, our sun is spitting out its stuff. So by the time that wave gets to us, we being the third planet from the sun, it can affect satellites, technology, and the other day when I tried to get on, the whole town pretty much went out for 7 hours. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here. Come say hello to me. Sasha's here. We love your live. Thank you. I love being here live. I love being alive. Okay, but I couldn't get the Marilyn Michaels out of my head this morning. Last night, I couldn't get to sleep at all. Actually, I did. I slept really well. So I'm here with my new glasses that are tinted champagne color. I love them. I'm so happy. And my new kitchen, it's very Euro loft funk. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about Uranus, the planet that represents your freedom. Uranus, Greek word, urano, means heavens. And so, it was 1751, I believe, when it was discovered. And before that, Uranus, which guides Aquarius, was relegated to Saturn. But, oh no, you see, as the planets and the solar system evolves and our understanding of it, so do we. So does astrology and astronomy. So with with Uranus being the muse of Aquarius sun rising and moon is going to really dig this information even more so, because it's all about humanitarianism, freedom, evolving through systems, science. Uranus represents science, technology, space, astrology, At one time in history, astrology and astronomy were the same, but now we've, separated to get a closer look and have some facts and data and experience behind our belts, so that we look at what the planet is doing in relationship to what we as a collective are doing. Now, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, even though it's a dwarf star technically, but even that's in question. These are called the outer planets. Okay, so Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars are the inner planets, and they move quicker around the sun than the outer planets, which move a lot slower. So we get to see long stretches of information come to us through our experience, and we see, okay, when Uranus was last retrograde, it went from 2 degrees Taurus to 6 degrees. And during that time, we entered a whole new world. A whole new world. Yeah, and it's a crazy world, right? Because now we're supposed to not look at each other. And who needs lipstick? And what if you're not wearing a mask? Who's going to protest? And so there's all this new criteria that has come in, handed to us on a spiritual platter, and says, well, who are you now if all your meetings are online? Who are you now? Well, my husband Dean and I, we live and work at home and designed it that way from the beginning to raise a conscious human being when we had our baby. And so we're not seeing it so differently as some people who are in the workforce out in the world, who have to go, get up, go to their job, come home, deal with other things, soccer teams, or, and I'm talking to my clients who have kids, and let me tell you, it's a freaky world for them. And they're having to make choices that relate to their freedoms. So one parent says, no way I'm putting my 9-year-old in a classroom for 6 hours with a mask on. No. And then, so the whole school system awareness has changed, and, she had to find another place to put him in a different system. So when I look at Uranus, I look at what's the system that you've been operating under, because it's going to change. Now, Uranus is an energy in astrology, not the planet itself, but the energy of Aquarius is humanitarianism. It's freedom loving. It's freedom fighting. It's very stubborn. It's financially minded. And it's also about rebelliousness or eclectic, unique, innovative information. So how do we negotiate that in the sign of Taurus? Taurus is very laid back and practical, very steadfast and loyal, very stubborn. So now we have two stubborns put together, plus innovative on one side, let's take a risk, and wait a minute, let's be practical on the other side. So as we enter, and we are now in the retrograde, Uranus retrograde in Taurus through January of 2021. And what we're going to go back to, because the planet itself is going to retrograde back from our perspective on Earth only. If you lived on Saturn, it would look completely different. So then you'd have different information and a different experience. So now that it's going to retrograde back all the way back to 6 degrees where it ended up, and then moved forward into 10 degrees where it is now, and we're looking at, oh, wow, okay, I'm in a new world. It's a new way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of experiencing and acting. I have to see what's true for me, right? This has been the case since January of 2020, when we all started to feel something shift. And I don't remember saying this, but to one woman, a client of mine, I gave a reading to, and I said to her, and she's in the medical world, in December or January, I gave her a reading, and she said to me, she wrote back a few months after, and she said, well, you nailed it. And I said, did I? Okay, I hope it worked for you, whatever, because I don't remember the information. Unless I'm working with a person consistently, then I can remember. But it's a lot of information. I don't hold people. I have to let them go. So I said, about work or life, and she said, no, you said something global was about to happen and that we would all, something to the effect of we would all be facing our truest selves. And here we are, facing what's true for us. So when you think about, hang on, I'm going to take a little sip of my mix. When you think about what you like, what you love, what helps you to feel free, when you used to think about it, you automatically assumed, well, I can just get in my car and go. Or let's just make a reservation, we'll go to that place. Or I can't wait to get to the movies and for 3 days and binge watch. And now, who can leave their house? Now it's just starting to change again. And plus, I get the feeling that there's going to be another wave that's coming big time. And not to cause panic or scare, but just to say, and there are people I know in the medical profession who have the mask on 20 hours a day and who are still getting sick. So you have to decide for you, what's the cultural divide? What's the place in time where you say, like Norman in that old time movie, I date myself, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. Network. That's the name of the movie. So you have to decide what works for you and at the same time not judge someone else for what they're doing. How many times do you see somebody driving alone in a car with a mask on and you think to yourself, why? Or how many times do you see someone in a store without a mask and you're thinking, who the hell do they think they are? Or how many times do you walk into a place without a mask on and you go, it's all good. It's germs, I need to build up an immunity, it's all good. And, get the strange looks from others. So whichever, I'm not saying judge, and I'm saying never judge like that. But to look at, if you're doing what's great for you, if you're vibing it on a whole new level, and that's what Uranus and Retrograde and Taurus represents, it's that place of this is true for me, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to look like a rebel. Now, in my world, my husband and I have always looked that way to other parents, to, your kid's eating seaweed for a snack. What is that? 13, 15 years ago. But we set the trend. We, the collective, when we're doing something that is positive and it's proactive for the collective. Humanitarianism is not an option to say, yeah, I'm not going to, screw them. It's just for me. I'm not talking about being selfish, because on the negative end of Aquarius energy or Uranus energy, it is the, I get to the line. I get to the line first. So what I always tell my Aquarius people, Aquarius sun, rising, and moon, there's enough of everything to go around. So, yeah. Gotcha? Hey, who else is here? Hey, Deb's here. Francis, hello. So what signs do we have? What do we have here? I know we have a Libra. I can't remember the other people. Tell me. Come join me. Say hello. We're talking about Uranus and Taurus today. And for each of the signs, I have my notes that I had for Monday and wasn't able to share. But let's just think again about, in astrology, what Uranus represents. Now, the planets are not conscious of their movements. Okay? So that's why they cannot control you or attempt to control you. Now, there's a lot of unconscious people on this planet who are trying to control you. So that's their orbit is a little different than a planet. So Uranus represents your origin, your space, technology, science, music, electronics. Now, the old definition of, or the visual, was a man tilting a container of water. Okay, so a lot of times people would think, oh, Aquarius is a water sign. It's not. And it's not a man either. It is a humanoid figure, we'll call them they, are holding a vessel, and that vessel contains currents. Today's standard currents are wind, water, electricity. And so when we look at society in that, we're looking at how do we, just how the Romans developed aqueducts and they heated their baths with hot water heaters under the tile. I mean, that was just so innovative. They must have gone through a Uranus phase, right? It's all about frequency and well-being, and astrology as well. So medicine comes into play. Now, Neptune is the planet that represents medical addictions, actual medicines, but Uranus represents the technology behind the development of healing tools, lasers. I've had laser treatment for a plantar fasciitis. It was tremendous. It's such a help. Some people get LASIK eye surgery, the laser stuff. So Uranus, think of it as a very innovative adult, rambunctious, spontaneous, erratic, rebellious anarchist who has the thought of your freedom in mind. So I like to tell people that Uranus is the energy who invented slavery and then the bolt cutter, the chains of industry, which come out of Saturn. So in mythology, Saturn is the father to Uranus. So the chains of industry, working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. But that's not happening so much anymore, is it? There are some people who still have a job, who work 9 to 5, but maybe now they only go in 2 days a week and the rest is Zoom, which shut down the other day. The day I was trying to do a Facebook Live, Zoom collapsed. And so we're seeing the advancement of technology now in the retrograde because it has to hold the new awareness, right? So as we grow, it's like trying to break out of an egg. And what we see is the technology has to keep up. And then we look at conglomerates who try to control things. Like I read this morning, Big Pharma is after Dr. Mercola and spreading lies about him because he talks about health and healing and, being aware of your choices. So you want to be, the Uranus vibe is about learning, reading, expanding your mind and your vibration, your energy. It's meditation. It's literally, going to another planet. So the space station has had over 400 visitors already. And the elite get to go because they've got $1 million to pay for a ticket or however much it costs. And right now, SpaceX and NASA are having a little tangle. So what we're going to see is in the next 6 months, your ability to utilize a new industry that does not confine you. Okay, so industry now can mean a corporation. It can mean I have a talent. I want to take music and create healing vibrational sounds with it. So I've got to get the equipment. And when I use that equipment, I want to make sure that the people who hear it really benefit. So I'm going to have some science testing done on it. This was done by a woman. Oh, and I don't have the notes in front of me, but a woman in Colorado developed the harmonic egg. And I've even tried one. I like to try all new technologies that come out in whatever industry that I think I might vibe with. And the harmonic egg is a construct of, it literally is an oval, and it's very big, and it's got certain kinds of foam, and it's got a chair and a blanket in it, and it's music is piped in. And certain types of frequencies are now being studied because not only do they create a harmonious environment, like you listen to calm music and you go, oh, that's beautiful, I feel so much better. Or I listen to music to pump me up if I've got, chores to do, or I want to write something, or certain things that I write for in my fiction. I will look for the music of the era, if it exists, and or something similar to inspire me. So, but in the harmonic egg, there are studies that are being done that show, okay, I think it's certain instruments listened to and played continually. That's why you sit in this egg once a week for 50 minutes or whatever it is. Yeast infections, candida, violins for cancer. It's amazing. The piano, I think, was for the yeast infection. But so you're looking at now the development of these phases. So now when we go back to 6 degrees, we're at 10 degrees now. And let me show you what it looks like. But so here's what Uranus looks like in retrograde. And if you're just joining me, come say hello. We have Deb as a Capricorn. Sasha's a Libra sun. That makes 2 that I see here who are Libras. Let's see. I'm a Taurus. And we have Sasha's a Capricorn, Scorpio rising, Capricorn moon. Okay, so this is Uranus. And the H is after Herschel, who discovered it. But RX, it represents retrograde. And so, hang on 1 second. So I have another Taurus. There. That's what Taurus looks like, the symbol of Taurus. It looks like a bull's head. And so when we're looking at Uranus and Taurus going back to 6 degrees between now and January, and let me see if I have a screenshot from last week. I'm going to get rid of this. La la la, la la la. Hey, where are you? There it is. Okay, this is from August 20th, but basically, Uranus is at 10 degrees because it's a slower moving planet. It takes about 7 years to get through a constellation. So it's at 10 degrees of Taurus right now. So if you are Taurus sun rising moon, you will have noticed some dramatic changes. Also, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, sun rising and moon, you will have noticed some dramatic changes in, you know what, just everybody. Everybody right now is noticing dramatic changes. So I just want to go here because it is it's a week ago that I took the screenshot. But Uranus and Taurus, and so we see, wait a minute, I don't want to go out of frame. So there's Uranus. I'm out of frame. Okay, hang on. So there's Taurus and there's the retrograde. Okay? So when we're looking at Uranus moving back in time. Not really. It's an illusion. It's the apparent motion, people. So let me get rid of that. Okay. But when we look at Uranus by degree from the point of view of the Earth, and it moves from 10 to 6 degrees between now and January, we're going to revisit some of the things we first encountered. And I hesitate to say the word pandemic, okay? Because, and here's why. Because who here, raise your hand, so let me know in the comment section, who here remembers the 2019 pandemic of tuberculosis? Anybody? Ferris Bueller? Anybody? 1.8 million people died. Anybody hear about that? I just discovered it. How come that wasn't reported? How come we didn't know about that? Mostly China, India, Taiwan, Philippines were affected. So why didn't we know about that? So this is what I'm saying. You don't just turn on the TV and think, oh, that's my source of information. You need to step up now, people. It's time to read more, intuit more, gather facts and data. Uranus and Taurus is all about being practical. So if you're going to say something, make sure you can back that up with, okay, it happened to me. I'm not saying it's going to happen to you. Let's just say I tried on a new pair of shoes, the new technologically advanced sneaker, and it was amazing. And then after 3 hours, I got blisters. So I go online, and when I buy things online, and I always go to the reviews first, I am very specific about the type of review I want to give as a consumer and I want to hear or read as a consumer. And if I hear, oh, they were great, that doesn't help me. What size are you? What size did you buy? What climate do you live in? If I'm looking at a hiking shoe or, it's like, so, oh yeah, I hated them. Okay, why? So we don't want to get swept away in melodrama, right? With anything. So be very discerning. So if you buy a brand new pair of technologically advanced shoe and then you wear them and they're the best shoe ever, and you just call all your friends and you get on a Zoom chat with everybody and you go, you got to get these shoes. They're amazing. Okay. They're amazing for you. So we have to be a little bit less melodramatic in our the downside of Uranus is the radical, don't vote for that person and here's why. Okay, we understand you're passionate and you have stuff to back it up. Still, intuitively, you have to know. And people ask me, well, who do you think is going to win in this election? And I say, I don't say. And then they ask me, well, who are you voting for? And I say, I don't vote party, I vote people. So I look at someone's behavior. And if someone is behaving in a way, and this comes down to even buying anything in a store, if I deal with anybody, a salesperson, if someone is accommodating, they're kind, they're conscientious, they're pleasant, they're honest, that is where I go. I don't party? What's party? Everybody's going to tell the truth and everybody's going to lie to some degree to get what they need, right? Especially when there's a lot of money at stake. And if you look behind the scenes at things, and this is what Uranus in retrograde is going to help you to see, behind the scenes, because Uranus, remember, represents the corporate industry. Well, yes, Saturn does too, but it's revolutionizing the corporate industry. And politics is a corporation to some degree. Everybody has an agenda. So if someone says, yeah, buy this thing, and I'll say, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I also want to know who funded this thing. I want to know who backed this thing. I want to know their criteria and their data for telling me what this thing is going to do for me. That's my research. Because you have to look behind the scenes in a retrograde. Now, retrogrades are great for reviewing, renegotiating, seeing what's redundant. All the re's come out. Reestablishing, reworking, reneging, redacting, releasing, right? So rewrite, rewriting. Okay, so let's talk about studying more on your own to become more aware of your own intuition, your own power source. Because when you rethink something and you have that initial gut reaction to refrain from, that's when you want to double check. Are you doing it because you have a fear? Because fear is not going to tell you the truth. But if you just get a gut and you go, I don't know. This is so funny. Here's funny. We're getting our roof redone. And my husband got a few bids. And he said to me, what do you think of this company? And he gave me the name. And I was like, because I'll read stuff energetically before we buy something. And he gave me the name. And we met the guy doing a roof down the block. So my husband went over, shook his hand. I met him. And I thought he was a nice guy, very honest guy. And then later on, a few weeks later, we had some other bids come in. And my husband said to me, and I was in favor of one. I really was in favor of one. And my husband said, what about the first guy? He's like going to be a lot cheaper. And I said, what's the name of the company? And he told me, and I was like, I don't know. Something's fishy. It doesn't feel real. And he's like, well, we met the guy. He was a really nice guy. And he, gave us a bid right there. And I know. I'm confused because it doesn't feel real. It feels like something is fishy. Why is it not? It doesn't feel like it's holding anything. So later on, my husband comes to me and he laughed and he said, I gave you the wrong name. It was like Simon he gave me, and the real name was, Spangle, but it started with an S. And I was like, well, no wonder it didn't feel real because it wasn't real. That's the kind of intuition you want to have, people, and trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. So, hey, Elizabeth's here. Hi. Yes. So Elizabeth has to go into a community college. And if you have a case on campus, so schools are having a lot of trouble right now trying to figure out how to upgrade their technology, and is it all Zoom? Is it not, for what age? Some schools are shutting down. It's hard right now. We're all trying to figure out how to work the new world and to do it in a way that doesn't promote harm. Okay, right? We want to break the binds that tie us to fear. That is the ultimate bolt cutter for Uranus. So let's go through the signs. I'm going to group them by elements. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about Uranus in retrograde in Taurus. And let me just grab a sip. Okay. Now what time? Okay, this is going to be a long show. I have my fan on, my hair is blowing everywhere. Okay, so let's start with fire signs. Fire, sun, rising, moon. Aries. This particular Uranus retrograde through January 14th of 2021 is going to help you to... Now remember, the umbrella is your intuition, how to upgrade technology, how to trust your gut, how to value something, because Taurus represents values and security, and how to be very practical. All right, that's the umbrella for all the signs. Now, for Aries, sun, rising, moon, this has to do with your income and what you really value, your worth, and your self-worth too. So it's not just about money that you make, but it's what do you feel you're worth if you're selling a product, if you're putting something out onto the market, if you've been doubting yourself. Now is when you really have to shore up this place inside of you that says, I am worth it. Or I do deserve that raise. Or something similar. Make sense? Okay. Fire sign Leo, sun, rising, and moon. This takes place in your house of career and masculine parent, and also your life plan. Right now, you're questioning in the next 6 months. Is it 6? Yes. You're questioning where am I going and with whom? Is this my career over here? Do I work with my spouse? Do I work with a family member? Am I going to be part of the new revolution? And am I a part of that by a solution? Do I come up with something for the people who we work with? Or what is my career? How do I want to produce something? Now, this also affects you if you're, say you have an elder parent, or you are a parent. Maybe you're a dad now. Maybe you're a dad now and you're thinking, what kind of legacy? I got to step up. I got to find something. Or maybe it's about your father, whether your father's here on this earth or not. And you might be thinking, I have to rethink my approach to care for this person, or my approach to my life, because I'm emulating my dad, or I need to emulate my dad. So think about that, Leo, sun, rising, moon. Sagittarius, sun, rising, and moon. This is all about your health. Number one, Sag, sun, rising, and moon. If something does not speak to you, if you have new evidence or information that you can produce regarding your health. So talk to your appropriate doctors and healthcare professionals. Maybe you're just burnt out and you need a massage. So you find someone who says, and you're thinking, I don't want to go to a place and relax and wear a mask for 90 minutes because that's stressful. Okay, if that's what you're thinking, then you need to find someone who will work with you, who is okay with that, right? And not judge it. So health comes first, Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And then what comes next is the idea of what kind of work you want to be doing. And what are you researching now? And where can you take that through using technology? How can you, and this is for everyone, using technology, using astrology as well, because astrology is guided by Uranus. And so Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon, how can you just be articulate without condemning? How can you be Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon? How can you get more people into your industry? Maybe you're a healthcare professional, or maybe you're someone who sets up the coding for people or the companies like Zoom or, My Perfect Webinar or whatever they are. Maybe you're someone who's working on how to advance that to be more productive, because ultimately in the 6th house, you want to be very productive while Uranus is retrograde, but you're going to be thinking about, how do I solve that problem? All right, Earth signs, Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Let me just check in real quick. Deb, Theo is here and just saw you on my screen. Funny. Theo. My nephew Theo? Question mark? I don't know what you're saying. Okay. So Earth, Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon. Taurus, 1st house, is all about your body, your personality. I'm a Taurus. Do I like my personality? Are there things about my personality I need to change? Do I need to adjust something? Well, I'll tell you what. I'm about to launch an astrology masterclass. It's because I'm an intuitive, transformational astrologer. I see things and approach things a little bit differently in astrology. So I'm thinking about how am I projecting myself to you, to the public. I'm new on Instagram, so I'm just building a following there. And then I come out and I say, I gotta be me, I gotta be. That's Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. That's what you gotta be right now. You gotta be you. And really judge for yourself the Uranus in retrograde transit. What helps you to feel more like you? So that as you are focused in the now, how do you feel right now? Because right now, it won't last, because then there's another minute right after that, and another moment, and another moment. So what is it that you could be doing right now to feel your absolute most biggest self? Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And if it gives you joy to do that thing, do that thing. Last night I was so beyond my threshold. I was so tired, and I started to feel depressed. And I thought, okay, what typically makes me happy? Watching movies. So my husband put a Jane Austen movie on a little jump drive. I put it into my laptop. I went to bed. And I just watched. And I felt neutral. I went from to neutral. And I thought, okay, I'm coming back. Now I just need sleep. Because I was up so early and running all day. And so Taurus, Sun, Rising, and Moon, you got to take care of your body. Your body is changing. And so if you're doing something that is not healthy, it's going to show itself in the next 6 months. If you're doing something that is healthy, it's going to show itself in the next 6 months. Okay, Virgo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. 9th house. Oh my gosh, this is all about travel. Travel, foreign affairs, cultural matters, legalities, the law, things that you've just bought some new technology for your business and it's not working. Make sure you have receipts and make sure you have a warranty plan. Don't assume that there is one. Get it in writing. This is something and this is credit cards as well. You want to make sure that you're getting the best deal possible. And when it comes to travel, if you work in the travel or entertainment or educational industry, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. Now is when, all the new rules, they get regurgitated and switched every 3 weeks. And you're like, but you just told me, you just said, I got to do this, and now it's changed. How am I supposed to teach that class, run that business, get to my next appointment in France? So it's going to be a little, I don't want to say upsetting, but it's going to be adventurous. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. And there's a few more things you can do for yourself, like learning. Because as long as you're keeping the mind alive, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, as long as you're keeping the mind alive, you're feeling productive. But let's shy from judgment, please. Evaluation is one thing. Judgment takes you down a vicious hole of like, please press 1. If you're waiting for, please press 2. But I just called you 20 minutes ago. How could this change? So let's everyone assume that the best, most obvious, healthiest answer is going to show up in full color, in, technicolor. All right, Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. Okay, this is actually really exciting. I think of all the people, this is for all the people. Well, I would say Aquarius is going to have the most exciting, but Capricorn, you're going to have the most fun. Okay, so Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. If you're looking to move forward in a relationship, I know it's a weird time, like online dating, like, hi. Then you can take the mask off, but in person, hi. Yeah, you can't. Like Indian matchmaker. How would Aparna be if she couldn't see anyone's face? That's the question. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. It's about creative options. It's about getting back your mojo. Talk about being a Mojo Mystic. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon, it's not just romance, but it's that feeling of I'm in love with the weather, my favorite new TV show, this book I started, a book I'm writing, a poem I heard. I'm in love with this music. I'm in love with this new site that gives me spits out all the, research information that I love to do. Yeah, I love to research. I, as a Capricorn rising, do love to research. So Capricorn, this is going to be about you having more time with your kids or a new relationship. Remember, we're under the umbrella of technology, freedom. So if one of your kids is now going off to college or moving, yikes, you're biting your nails, but at the same time, you're like, well, we can still stay in touch. That's okay. And you're getting some of your freedom back. Anytime a child leaves the house, it's like, we have an hour, hurry up. Or, no, they went to college. They went to college. Now what? So you're going to occupy your time with something creative and fun and sparking those ideas. Capricorn, sun, rising, and moon. All right, air signs. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. This is a really profound time for you to get over yourself, okay? 12th house with Uranus there. It can happen faster than you think, which is a plus and exciting, right? Because you're thinking, I don't want to do counseling. I don't want to, I don't want to talk about it again. Now you get to core much faster if you're focused on it. So set the intention, Gemini, sun, rising, moon, of being focused on letting something go to make room for something new. And if you have old technology, from computers to stuff, double think, triple think, why am I going down that road to get something new if this thing is still working? Well, you could have a lot of reasons. But if the bottom line reason is poverty consciousness or fear or, let's just stick with those two, then that's not a good enough reason. You could have a brand new mouse and you go, I changed my mind. I don't like the color. Okay, you can change your mind. But where's that impulse coming from? That's what you want to question. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, this is about healing your biggest fear. What's the biggest fear that you have? And it's not right or wrong. It's just, if you understand now that you are pure conscious love, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, and you can approach life differently, you can approach situations differently, you can take this information and say, wait a minute, why am I so impulsive? Why do I doubt? Where is the fear coming from? So you might say, oh, I'm afraid of drowning. Okay. Are you near water? Do you swim every day? Have you ever hit your head in a pool? Were you ever dunked as a kid and never came out alive? Like, what's the fear about? Drowning means what? Equals what? Death. I'm afraid that I'll never have love again. Okay, so if you're afraid, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, that you'll never love again because of this weird world, and you're living by yourself, and you're just like, I can't meet people, I can't get out, I feel confined, so you're looking for freedom, right? So this is where you might start going into chat rooms and talking to people and realizing that, oh wow, I used to jump into relationships in the past just so I wouldn't be alone, just so I wouldn't have to focus on myself. So what's the fear? What's the fear, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon? You want to come up with the fear because it's a very healing time now through January. Okay, another air sign, Libra, sun, rising, and moon, 8th house. Okay, sweethearts. First of all, you're worth it, okay? We're opposite the 2nd house, and that's Aries. And first of all, you're worth it. And second of all, if you are cashing in, like you're selling all your jewelry just to stay alive, you want to start asking for help. A stimulus package, what's going on with the IRS, what's going on with your taxes, what's going on with your spending, your budget, your income, your outflow. Because there's an energy, Libra, sun, rising, and moon, that says, oh wow, I have $1 million in the bank or $5,000 in the bank, and yet I'm terrified I'm going to starve. Okay, incongruent, extreme. Now, maybe you just sold something big. Maybe you just moved. Maybe you just had a big outlay of cash, or you got a raise, or you were promoted, or you were fired. So whatever's going on, you're looking at your cash and thinking, how do I stretch this dollar? In fact, let me just use my computer and say, what's my dollar worth in Amsterdam? Oh my gosh, look at that. Maybe I should move there. Yeah, why not? Start thinking about, not that you have to like get on a plane right away, Libra, sun, rising, and move, but start thinking about the possibilities of who you are if not for the dollar or the yen or the ruble or whatever it is your currency is. Remember, we're thinking about currency. Where does your wave come from, my dears? Where? Oh, my friends, Libra, sun, rising, and moon, you are so abundant in nature. And yet there's a part of you that does not share in another area of your life. I'm not talking about, I got $10, now I'm going to go spend $8. I don't mean that, although that can be part of it. But it's, where do you not share who you are? Libra, sun, rising, and moon. Where do you head case and go to extremes like Gemini and thinking that it's never going to happen. It's never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. So where does that come from? Because Uranus really wants to go to core and think about, if you were born, if any sign was born with Uranus in the 8th house, something traumatic happened to you, whether you think you were abducted by aliens, whether you were molested or abused as a child, or whether you had a traumatic event that suddenly stopped you, and you're thinking, I better just hunker down and live my life and then I'll be done. No. Libra, sun, rising, and moon, where can you now expand through astrology, technology, a new or a different industry, utilizing your money? Now, Uranus in the 8th house or the 2nd house makes people, no, it doesn't. I retract that. I redact that. It represents people who suddenly want to experiment with Bitcoin or cyber things that, oh, I can invest in that stock and watch it go up and down. You have to really know your stuff. You have to really know your stuff to do that and benefit. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Aquarius. Folks, if this information is helpful, please like, share, comment. On YouTube, if you're watching this in a replay, please subscribe. Click the little bell and you'll be notified of new videos that we'll post online. So I'm just trying to expand my reach. There's Uranus in my Taurus area saying, come on, help. Aquarius, 4th house. Well, you're moving. You've moved, you're moving, and you're going to move again. You're not going to stop moving. So in about a year, we're looking at, well, let's start from here. Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. Several issues. One, the relationship you have to your maternal parent. If you come from same-sex household, it could be the parent who's much more nurturing or softer or, more relaxed or more feminine. Or if it's a single parent household, it's the parent who is the actual one who birthed you. If you're adopted, it's your adopted parents, but it could mother, or it could also be the one that gave birth to you, because now we're going backwards and you might be thinking, I need to change my origin story. There's something about Uranus, your muse, Aquarius, sun and rising and moon. There's something about changing something about your home. Now, it can be the 4 walls. It can be, I have the cash now. Let's, knock down that wall and expand that kitchen. My husband's an Aquarius moon. We're getting a new roof. Yay, thank you, honey. And it will last us the rest of our lives. So it's about making an investment in yourself, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, and seeing that the living location is going to change. And whether it be a renovation, a paint job, new floor, or whether you actually move again, you're moving again. And that movement comes from the inside. When you look at your mother's patterns and you say, I like these patterns, I like this part about my mom, and I would like to emulate that because I believe it's true. Or those parts I don't see so much as part of who I am. So I'm going to let those patterns go. Or it's about your actual parent and you're saying, look at them. They're healing. They're healing. And I care about them so much. Even if you've had like an animosity in the relationship, it's, I need to heal myself. And, again, look at my origins. It's not just who you were born to. It's being in the womb, and it's before that. Well, who were you before you were a seed? Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, because your origins are now going to be part of your flow. So if you're going through any kind of upset, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, it could be a physical thing, it could be an emotional thing, it could be a logistics thing, like, this isn't where I want to live. I want to go over there, or this isn't. Okay, I'm getting like red, green, and blue. Can you hear me? Can people hear me? It's like it's blinking now. I may not be recording. Am I recording? Can you hear me? All right, water signs. Cancer, I hope I can get through this because I'm being stalled, but I will continue. Water signs, Cancer, 11th house, Cancer, you've got a whole new world. Where are you going? Oh my gosh, it's a whole new group of people. And with Uranus retrograde, it's going to help you to see the friends that I've had are not really my friends. Or the ones that were just acquaintances are now becoming my friends. Or the people that I didn't get along with, I need to say goodbye. Or the people that I relied on who did not come through, I need to let them go. And so you're going to be looking at the mix of people in your life, and you're going to be saying to yourself, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, I am developing more of who I am, even if I have to do it online or Zoom. I am developing more of who I am because I have more confidence to know who I am. All right, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. It's these people that you're evaluating. I want you to pay very close attention to something because we're in all the re's: reevaluation, reassessment, redacting, retracting, releasing, renegotiating, renewing. If there is someone in your world that is getting closer to you, maybe it was a business partner and now they're becoming a friend. And so this new friend says or does something that causes you to pause, like, why would they say that? That felt weird. Okay, that felt weird. I want you to pay attention to that and just hold your ground. Hold your ground. Does that make sense? Oh boy. Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon. You can go to great new heights. You can go to great new heights. You can go to great new... Oh, okay. You know what? Folks, the video is stalling. This might be what NASA talked about. Okay. Okay, I think I'm back. Am I back? Okay. So Cancer, Sun, Rising. Oh, I see red. And I'm not angry. Okay, I'm not going to struggle through this. Okay, I'll keep going. So Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, your ability now to forge and fortify new alliances is tremendous. You just have to be very careful and go slow because it's going to change in January. It's going to look different in January. So make sure you're part of the equation. All right. Scorpio, 7th house. All right, my dears. With Aquarius there's going to be that sudden feeling of, I want to get married to you. Or the opposite. I'm so done with you. Now this can deal with marital relationships. This can deal with business relationships. So high-end clients. Fans. Okay, it's green again. So you have to be careful of not jumping in or out of something just because you feel done. And or they might look at you and say, I am so done with you not communicating. I am so done with you trying to rule the world. I am so done with you behaving this way. You said one thing, now you're doing another. So whether it's you doing that or it's them doing that, we need to have some communication time here. You need to evaluate, really reevaluate your relationship to this person and what the bottom line is, and seek counseling. This is a really great time for counseling if it's a spouse or a significant other. If it's a business partner, you really need to be very practical and honest about what you've been getting, especially in the last year with this relationship. Are you ready to go forward with this relationship? It could be high-end clients now coming your way. and giving you a whole perspective of a different way to enact business. Because they might have a need that you weren't thinking of offering, and you say, oh, I could help you with that. Yeah, that's not a problem. And then you say, oh, wow, that was new. That was exciting. I wasn't expecting that. So the way you work with other people now is changing, and that includes, your significant partners. All right, my hair is getting in my face. Suddenly I have like the swoop of bangs. Okay. So Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon, I think it's really important that you continue to be open to listening, to working things out. We have to work things out, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. You got to be open because things are going to change in the next 6 months. Now, Pisces, last but not least, third house communication. Whatever you did last year or whatever you enacted and really loved, maybe it's writing, speaking, educating, teaching, learning, could deal with siblings. It's coming back. So maybe now's the time to edit that book, that poem, write that story, that screenplay. Maybe now's the time to take a masterclass, to learn more astrology, to learn more science, to learn more music, or something that really inspires you to keep going. Maybe now's the time to invest your energy in thinking about how you think. Because if you have thoughts that spiral out of control, Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, then it's going to stop you from advancing, right? And this is a retrograde period where you want to be clear on your motivation and what's innovative for yourself, for your clients, for your students, for your family and friends. Okay, I'm getting a lot of stall here. But anyway, I'll just keep going. We're almost done. So Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon, let's see you think differently. Every time you have a negative thought, I want you to stop, take a deep breath, clap your hands 5 times, jump up and down 5 times, burst into song for 5 seconds, and pattern interrupt. Start over. Fresh new moment. How else can I think? How else can I innovate? How else can I transform this way that I am, that I'm thinking, that I'm being? Or the project that I'm working on, the song that I'm writing, the book that I'm editing. How else can I get my class to learn something, if you're a teacher, and help them without feeling too stressed out? How else? So that requires study, learning. You might, take some small trips, or you might decide to just hunker down and go, no, I'm going to bring technology into my space. I'm going to find a space for me. There's a space for us. So you need to have your own space. Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon. You need to have a place that really represents that it's like a gestation period of thought and idea and review of who you are, how you think, how you express, and what you want to be saying. Is what you're saying truthful to you? Does it help you to feel free and expand? Does it help others to feel free and expand? Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon. That's the question. So if you're learning something you love, if let's say you're this is stopping. Let's say you're in school. Do you love it? Do you love what's happening? If not, be part of the solution. Solution, Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Because this is a lot about education and a lot about moving energy. And that can be travel too. You might start to branch out and say, I'm going to venture out a little bit. I'm not going to be so afraid of getting sick because disease has existed forever, and I'm careful, and I need my freedom. Right? So that's Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. You might be saying, I need my freedom now. I want to travel a little bit, or I want to read a new author, or experiment. You might be saying, I want to experiment. I want to experiment with something new. And then it will come to you. The idea, the email, a chance of a lifetime to take that course, to write that song, to collaborate. This is all, folks, this is all about our emotional process right now in the next 6 months. I'm going to see if I can come back on Thursday. I'm sorry, on Monday. What is today? Okay, on Monday. I want to come back on Monday and talk about this again. So come back and visit. If we have solar flares that are affecting things, we'll do our best. But I hope this was helpful for you. Please comment, like, share, subscribe on YouTube, and I will be back. I see a lot of pauses, but I will be back on Monday. So come and join me. I hope this was great. All right, be well. Sending you love. Thank you so much. Be sparkly.